Hello, my name is Walter Peters and welcome to my presentation. The researcher would like to thank all of the following persons who have contributed towards the successful production of this research. Special thanks to the videographer who took time off to make an awesome video production. Thanks to the parents and teachers who gave consent to the use of the school to conduct this research. Your efforts and contributions are highly appreciated. And thank you to those persons who have published useful journals which provide a roadmap towards this research. More so, special thanks towards the facilitator for this course, SPED 206, Trend and Issues in Special Education. Your guidance and support was much beneficial. And finally, big thank you to the Lord God Almighty for his knowledge, strength, and support in making me to produce this research. This case study was conducted at Effie Pollard Primary School in Guyana, Demerara, Mexico. Guyana is a country located on the continent of South America. Its capital city is Georgetown. Guyana is managed by 10 administrative regions as shown on the map. The following presentation will display the findings of this case study, which is based on assessing the plans the school have in place in practicing an inclusive education. It also shows implications and suggested recommendations for future practices. Based on the information gathered from the questionnaire, it has been placed on several diagrams that shows the basic information. Figure 1, bar graph showing the challenges faced by the school having children with disabilities. Each of the challenges have been ranked from the greatest to the least. 3 major challenges are being highlighted and suggested according to the questionnaire. First, the greatest challenge. The greatest challenge faced by the school is the lack of trained special education teacher, which is ranked at 20. The second greatest challenge at the school is the lack of resources, which is ranked at 15. And the third, the lack of support from the relevant authority, which is ranked at 10. Figure 2, pie chart showing the recommendations to a better inclusive education at Effie Pollard Primary School. Based on the information we also received from the questionnaire, it has been noted that trained special education teacher is one of the greatest recommendations suggested by the parents and teachers of the school. The second greatest recommendation or note is the allocation of more resources the school needs. It has been noted that the school is being lacked major resources for the use of inclusive education. The third, which is ranked, is alternative assessment. It has been over the years the school has not been practicing or implementing alternative assessment for children with special education needs. However, based on the study and research and information gathered, parents have suggested that the school implement alternative assessment for children with disabilities. Third diagram, figure 3, which shows a line graph showing the impacts of inclusion practices on special needs children. It shows 3 major practices of inclusion or the impacts of having an inclusive education at Effie Pollard Primary School. 3 major impacts are, I'm going to go at the greatest, engage or promote respect. It shows that the implementation of this inclusion at Effie Pollard Primary School allows the pupils to have respect for each other, those with special needs and those without special education needs. The second greatest impact inclusion has on the school is to improve learners' self-esteem. This has allowed the learners to develop a more better understanding of themselves and to gain that knowledge and experiences learned in the classroom after discussing and engage in the learning experiences provided by the teacher. It allows the child to make better choices or feel more comfortable in a learning environment. And the third is the boost of parental support. This inclusion practice at Effie Pollard Primary School also would have allow the parents to have a greater support towards the school and towards their child, especially with the special education need. Implication of current and future practices. According to the international journals and articles which study special education in several nations, including the Caribbean and Guyana, are by far achieving an inclusive special education. However, here in Guyana, the government and the Ministry of Education have been making strides to better the education system, especially on the grounds of special and inclusive education. Hence, as mentioned in one of the journals, Guyana experienced several challenges. At Epi Pollard Primary School, practices partial inclusion. The school is not much adequately prepared to teach children with special needs. However, in the future, it remains the government's responsibility in preparing all schools with resources needed in achieving its goals in education. Small island developing states. Some small island developing states like Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and the Bahamas have also been, over the years, striving to implement policies that cater for an inclusive education. Based on the information from several international journals, these nations have experienced similar challenges in adopting policies and laws as it relates to an inclusive education. Some common challenges are negative attitudes towards persons with disabilities, which stems from teachers, parents, and fellow citizens, the lack of adequate resources to provide support in having an inclusive education, and finally, the lack of trained teachers in special education. According to International Journal of Special Education reveal that there is lack of trained teachers in the area of special education in the Bahamas and elsewhere. References, and there is the information that has been gathered from the research and using the following information from the international journals. Thank you for viewing my presentation.